Have you ever been stuck in traffic, just completely zoned out, and then bam, you get hit with this wild moment of clarity? Well, today we're diving into exactly that. We're talking about a sudden, super powerful flash of cosmic unity that happened in, of all places, a traffic jam. Let's get into what it was and what it could possibly mean.
So it all starts with this unbelievable firsthand account. I mean, just picture it. You're just trying to get to work, and for one single second, you are the sun. You are the stars. You are the entire universe. This wasn't a dream or a hallucination. It was described as a direct download of pure knowledge. So what in the world happened on that highway?
And that's our first big question, right? We have to understand this bizarre contrast. How can a moment of profound spiritual awakening happen during a morning commute? It's this fascinating puzzle. It kind of seems like the cosmos doesn't always wait for us to be sitting peacefully on a mountaintop.
You know, what's so incredible here is just how clear the experience was. This wasn't some vague, fuzzy feeling. No, it was a 1-second jolt of complete and total oneness, a feeling of being the cosmos and instantly knowing everything. The person who went through it even called it a lightning strike, this charge that just filled their entire body. And the crucial part is this. They knew it wasn't a daydream. It felt like a direct transmission of awareness, something that just bypassed all logic.
Okay, so to even begin to unpack what happened, we're going to need a couple of really powerful tools. We're going to look at this flash through two very different, but you'll see, surprisingly complementary lenses: the ancient wisdom of yoga and the cutting-edge field of modern neuroscience.
This is the million-dollar question we're trying to answer. Was this a purely spiritual event? Was it a strange neurological glitch? Or, and this is where it gets interesting, is it somewhere in the middle, a place where those two ideas actually meet? Let's start breaking down the evidence from both sides.
Think of this like two different detectives trying to solve the exact same mystery. On one side, you've got this ancient philosopher who's using thousands of years of introspection and practice to map our inner world. And on the other side, you've got the modern scientist using high-tech tools to map the brain's physical wiring. We're about to see what happens when both of their investigations point to the very same conclusion.
So for our ancient perspective, we're looking at the Hatha Yoga Pradipika. Now, this isn't just some dusty old book. It's basically a foundational instruction manual for Hatha Yoga, and it explicitly describes these super advanced states of consciousness, states that sound a lot like the one we're talking about.
So, from a yogic point of view, this flash wasn't random at all. First, it perfectly mirrors samadhi, which is considered the final stage of yoga, where your individual self just merges with the infinite. It could also be a spontaneous activation of Kundalini, this incredibly powerful dormant energy that's said to rest at the base of the spine. And finally, it might be seen as Shaktipat, which is, well, it's essentially a spontaneous, unearned gift of grace from the universe, a freebie.
All right, now let's put on our lab coats and switch to the scientific lens. Neuroscientists would probably hypothesize a few things. First, a huge burst of gamma brainwaves. These are linked to those big aha moments and feelings of unity. Second, the brain's ego center, what's called the default mode network, might have just temporarily shut down, which would totally dissolve that sense of being a separate self. And third, the pineal gland could have released some really powerful natural compounds that create that feeling of cosmic oneness.
Okay, you guys, this is where it gets really fascinating. What if these two explanations, the spiritual one and the scientific one, are actually describing the exact same event, just from different angles? What if they're just two different languages for the very same truth?
Look at this. This is where the two maps just overlap in the most astonishing way. The yogic system describes these energy centers called chakras, and, get this, their functions align almost perfectly with key glands in our body. The crown chakra, the center for cosmic unity, maps to the pineal gland, the very gland neuroscience suspects releases those unity-inducing compounds. The third eye chakra, all about insight, aligns with the pituitary gland, our body's master regulator. And the solar plexus, the center of personal power, aligns with the pancreas, which controls our body's energy. I mean, it is an absolutely incredible convergence of ancient wisdom and modern biology.
Okay, so we've explored all the amazing theory. But what's the point if we can't bring some of this into our own lives, right? This next section is all about shifting from just analyzing it to actually practicing it, giving you a tool to explore this state for yourself.
So that's the big question, isn't it? Do you have to just wait around hoping for some random lightning strike of insight? Or can you actually create the conditions to invite it in? Well, the answer seems to be yes, you can. And it starts with a really simple but powerful exercise.
It's called the Dragon Trial, and the steps are pretty simple. First, you just sit quietly, get centered with your breath. Then, you put yourself back in a totally ordinary scene. Driving, doing dishes, doesn't matter. From there, you imagine it, that 1-second flash where you are everything. The key is to then hold on to that feeling, to really let it sink into your cells. But you're not done there. The final step is reflection, and this is where the magic happens. You ask yourself 2 really profound questions. First, what part of me resists this knowing? That's your ego, your doubt, your skepticism talking. And then, what part of me longs for it? That's the deeper part of you that recognizes this feeling of unity as coming home. The answers you get can be incredibly revealing.
So, after all of this, what's the big takeaway from this incredible story? It's really simple, but it's huge. We often think we need to escape the world, go on a retreat, find perfect silence, to have some kind of insight. But this experience proves that profound, life-altering moments can happen anywhere, at any time. And that leaves us with a final thought to chew on. The next time you're stuck in traffic, or just doing something totally mundane, remember this story. The universe doesn't always whisper in the quiet moments. Sometimes it speaks in a flash of lightning, and the road to work just might be the road to awakening.